Now, well, speaking alongside the Pope, Ola said there was a possibility AI will displace human labour at very large scale. The CEO of Goldman Sachs puts it in a different way. It's probably more a question of perspective and view. David Solomon argued in the New York Times that the AI job apocalypse is overblown, writing, the US has a long track record of creating new jobs in response to disruption from the electrification in the 1900s to the digital revolution of the 1990s. I don't see any reason to think this dynamic will stop now. Daron Acemoglu is the Nobel Prize-winning economist with me. He is a professor at MIT, Massachusetts Institute, and has written extensively on the subject. If we know that jobs are going to go. And when I read Solomon's article, I sort of thought you're putting a rosy picture on this because, jobs will be created as well. But net, would you say society is even remotely ready?
Oh, I would say we are completely unready. And indeed, yes, Solomon's argument is very rosy. There is no guarantee that we will always create as many jobs as we destroy. That really depends on how we use technology. It depends on organizations. It depends on institutions. It depends on a whole host of factors. Some of them are under our control. That's why it's very difficult to make very strong pronouncements about the future of the job market, because some of this will depend on how we use AI. AI is a very promising, but also very versatile technology. Who controls it matters. How we direct it matters. Whether we just focus on automation or other things matters greatly. So it's great that, many important people are weighing on this, including the Pope. There is a big question, and we shouldn't just leave all of these, life-changing decisions to a handful of people.
I am fairly pessimistic that governments will put in place the necessary policies for retraining, for work-life balance, all the things that we've failed to do in every industrial revolution so far. Am I being too pessimistic?
Oh, why? I mean, look at the US government's track record recently. It's perfect. Why can't you have confidence in our government? No, I'm just kidding. We have done everything wrong when it comes to AI. We are completely unprepared. The Biden administration did not have a coherent AI policy. Trump administration has a much worse AI policy. It's not even remotely coherent, and it doesn't acknowledge the risks. And there are really amazingly important decisions that are going to be made in the next several years. Some of them are related to building guardrails, but some of them are related to what the AI companies are doing right now.
It's the economic environment that we are talking in now is very tricky. Essentially, there is stagflation in many countries that, unless the Gulf scenario and the Iran scenario improves dramatically, could lead to recessions in some major economies. Which do you believe now is the more pressing problem? Growth, jobs, or inflation?
Look, I think inflation is a big problem because of the affordability crisis that it induces. Then that's related to the fact that many households in the United States and more generally in the industrialized world are not earning enough. It is related to the labor market. If we keep on our current trajectory of increasing profits but stagnant wages, the affordability problem will get worse and inflation would take a heavier toll on working people. So yes, it is absolutely essential to rein in inflation, but also to create wage growth. And you cannot dictate wage growth. You cannot tell companies, pay your workers 50% more. They won't do that. And if they did, they would go bankrupt if they keep everything else the same. So you need to induce the companies to use technology in a way that makes workers more productive so that they will actually end up hiring more workers and paying them more. That's happened many times in history. But by the way, we haven't done that well in the digital revolution. Look at what happened in many parts of the United States where many communities suffered huge job losses because of imports from China and even more from automation. So we can repeat all of those problems at the moment in a much more massive scale.
The problem always is that there's never any reason to do it. Until there's a crisis or until the bond market vigilantes decide to wreak an attack on a government like they did with Liz Truss, for example, or that they've started to look at the US debt, there's never a reason on an average Monday in October, whatever, to actually address some of the core problems.
Absolutely, that's right. But it's even deeper than that. I think AI is a really once in 6, 7, 10 generation change in the
Wow.
production structure of our economy. So you do need some sort of consensus on how to deal AI. Society has become so polarized that some solutions are going to be seen as left-wing solutions and are going to get pushback from the right. Others are viewed as right-wing solutions. They're going to get pushback from the left. We need to have a broader conversation. That's why the Pope's intervention is very important. We need to talk about what it is that AI can do and what are our values. What is it that we want from this very promising technology? I don't think many people would say we want this technology to make Elon Musk even twice as rich or concentrate power in the hands of Sam Altman, Elon Musk, and Mark Zuckerberg. We want something that's good for all of us. And if you think about it, lots of workers being laid off from their vacation and not having anything productive to do, not contributing to society, isn't anybody's idea of a happy society.
I'm grateful that you're with us tonight, sir. Thank you very much indeed for talking to us. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Richard. My pleasure.
No, it's